I think the biggest risk, for me is
the amount of G-force that one takes when you go down to 200 meters is absolutely insane. We're talking about 5,000 Gs. So let's see how much G-force Roman can apply. I'm asking you for company secrets and what's going on. You have one release this year.
Less is more. We wanted to create the ultimate high horology sport watch, super light. 80% of the movement is air.
Absolutely in love with this watch.
I want people to remember one thing about Ulysse Nardin, and that's
Holy wow. Let's go in there and check it out. Ulysse Nardin managed to do what? They managed to create the lightest diver's watch on the planet. Golf ball, 45 grams. Tennis ball, 59 grams. Baseball, 140 grams. This is the weight of the watch that we saw earlier. 52 grams on the dot. That's insane. The amount of G-force that one takes when you go down to 200 meters is absolutely insane. We're talking about 5,000 Gs. And for that watch, weighing only 52 grams to be able to withstand that kind of force is absolutely amazing. Nardin wouldn't be Nardin if they didn't come up with some kind of a trinket to try to test the G-force. So let's see how much G-force Roman can apply. I'm not a fighter, I'm a lover. Hold this. This is gonna suck.
What do you guess?
I'm not even close. My watch would explode if I made it. Because the diver here is meant to withstand a lot of pressure, being the lightest diver ever made. You can literally press a button. You can see how much pressure this thing withstands. Look at that, 200 meters water resistant. And mind you, this thing is 52 grams. I just went down 200 meters. The watch is still ticking. I don't know how they did it. They show you all the materials that were used in order to create this watch. And here's the thing is that most companies are gonna wanna hide this, so other companies don't see it. Nardin has nothing to hide. They're completely transparent. They literally show you everything that has been used in order to create that watch.
Now let's sit down with Matthieu and really dive into this watch.
You have one release this year,
Yeah.
but I think it goes well with what you said to me last year. Less is more. Tell me about this new release. Well, for one, I've been wearing it. It is extremely comfortable. It is a knockout.
It started 5 years ago. We wanted to create the ultimate high horology sport watch. What does it mean? It means for us that there is 3 actually ultimate challenges. One is lightness. We want to make that watch super light. Then it's robustness. We want to make that watch super robust. And then because we are Ulysse Nardin, we wanted to challenge ourselves and to make something that really feels high horology. And then, we started to work on the formula and we said, okay, we want to hit 50 grams. We want to have something which is a dive watch, 200 meters. And we want to be able to withstand 5,000 Gs, which is what we withstand on a normal UN caliber like the 118.
The watch is nearly all transparent.
So 80% of the movement is air. Only 20% is materials.
This will fit any size wrist. The quality of the strap itself, it's actually soft but yet rigid enough to hold. Everybody and their mother out there with novelties, they're showing 50 different watches. You went with one. What was the vision behind that?
Less is more. For me, I want people to remember one thing about Ulysse Nardin, and that's a Diver Air. I want them to remember that Diver Air is the lightest mechanical dive watch ever made. If everyone remembers that about UN, it's good. Job is done.
What is the MSRP on this?
36,000 Swiss francs.
36,000 Swiss francs is now a watch that becomes a lot more accessible to others.
So we went through, from brass down to aluminium, but obviously we wanted that watch to be robust. So titanium was the best material for the ratio of lightness to robustness. So all the movement, except the escapement, which is made in silicone, 100% of the movement is made in titanium.
You created a movement out of titanium. It is extremely difficult to work with titanium, and to give the watch all the typical finishes that you would expect from Ulysse Nardin, this is absolutely amazing. You spared no expense in regards to making this particular watch.
One of the difficulties you have is in the process of manufacturing, titanium can catch fire. So when you manufacture a case, it's okay. When you manufacture micro component in titanium, this is where it's becoming very tricky.
As someone who has been at the helm and has done a tremendous job thus far, in my opinion, I don't care what anybody else says, biggest challenge and biggest opportunity that you see over the next few years for the brand?
The biggest opportunity is, as a brand, I want to be able to create a type of content that doesn't exist, not just in the watchmaking industry, but in the luxury industry. On one hand, YouTube is, for the content creator, where you've got, behind the scene, you've got personalities. And on the other extreme, you've got luxury brands that publish a over-polished content, which is not engaging. So I want to find that middle of the road solution where we create really the right behind the scene, the right content that will make people really stay on our channel. And nobody is really playing on the luxury side Champions League at the moment, and I want to be able to do it. So it's not going to be done overnight, but in the next 3, 4, 5 years, I want to become really the reference at the brand creating a content that does not exist today. So really focusing on more long format pieces of content. And then for the biggest risk, I think the biggest risk, for me is more internal. We value very much the people behind the brand. We are an independent, company, and everyone makes a difference. And if I were to lose, some of my best team members, that would be not a huge risk, but it will slow us down. So for me, the value within the company, the team is so important, and I want to make sure that most of them stay along the ride as long as possible.
Polished content where companies are afraid that they may offend somebody. I got news for you. Haters are going to be there. They're going to be there all the time. No matter the piece of content I've ever put out in my life, there are those that loved it and there are those that hated it. But guess what? The haters help. All publicity is good publicity, as they say. So I love to hear that direction. And last but not least, I'm actually absolutely in love with this watch. This is absolutely amazing. I think you did an outstanding job. And I think telling the story, it's not just another diver. People are slowly starting to come back from the world of hype and resale value and investment to actual horology and actual watchmaking. I think you accomplished it here. I want to thank you so much for your time. I know you have a busy schedule. And thank you, Matthieu.
Thank you, Roman.
Thank you very much.
If I could have a moment of your attention, I apologize. I know they just served the food and you guys all want to dig in and you're probably hungry. But I wanted to give a quick toast. Our friend Nico, who unfortunately couldn't be here tonight, made a phone call and said, listen, I need you to do me a favor. I want you to meet someone. I said, what's the big secret? Who's this someone? He's like, I can't tell you, but I need you to drive to New York and meet with someone. I said, Nico, who am I meeting? He's like, just please go. When? I forget the date. I think it was a Thursday at 2 o'clock. I arrive in New York, I go to a location, lo and behold, I meet Matthieu. Of course, I come in and I called him Matthieu, and he quickly corrected me and said, no, it's Matthieu. I said, well, we're in America, Matt. But that didn't fly, so till this day I call him Matthieu. And I found out who he was, obviously, and right away my eyes opened wide. And the reason I opened wide is because I go back with the brand to the very time I started in the industry almost 22 years ago, where for me personally, it was my favorite brand and it was also my #1 selling brand. I was there to witness the birth of, for me, one of the top 10 iconic watches in the world, that is the Ulysse Nardin Freak. What I fell in love with is the vision. When I found out what your vision was for the company, where you wanted to take the company, from somewhat dark times to brighter times, I immediately fell in love with the plan and I fell in love with the man because his vision was absolutely tremendous. And a short year later, we are seeing this vision, right? One of the things you said to me is, less is more. And I can't think of a better punctuation point than to make a 52-gram watch. Definitely less is more with the new release this year. I want to thank you for doing what you do for a company that I've loved for a very long time, because we're not just in the business of selling things, we're passionate about the things that we get to handle every day. It's a pleasure to have met you. It's a privilege to know you, and I hope our relationship can continue for many more years. It's a nice break from the city life to come out here into the country, the beautiful sunsets, etc. Anyway, I've been talking all week. My throat is getting tired. DJ, if you could help me clear my throat.
While most get-togethers, dinners, parties that are thrown by major brands tend to be proper, for the lack of a better word, not Ulysse Nardin. People are able to be who they are, and boy, did we have a great time, and did things get really loose at the end. Guys, I urge you to check out the new model made by Ulysse Nardin. And as I promised in a general vlog, there's going to be more of these coming out dedicated to specific brands, so stay tuned, more is coming. And in the interim, I would like to ask you what I always ask, and that is like, comment, share, subscribe, do all those wonderful things that help this channel grow. If you enjoy this content, go ahead and give it that thumbs up, leave a comment, let me know your thoughts.